Hey guys, ThomasFan2020 here, and today I'm going to be showcasing you how I made my custom Flying Scotsman. So let's begin. So a couple of months ago, I was scrolling through Instagram when HarshDanish22 posted of his new custom Flying Scotsman. And I was really impressed, so I thought, what if I try to make one myself? And so I did. So it was made of a Play-Rail Gordon with a 2015 Play-Rail Gordon face and two Spencer's tender, and one of them is heavily modified. So the first thing I did was I painted the first tender green and then painted the top and the door black. The water tender was a bit complicated, so the first thing I did was I melted the top using my soldering iron, and then I put some epoxy putty to clear up the hole, and then I put a bit of cardboard to extend the front, and then I had to use a bit of paper to seal those holes inside of the cardboard. After that, I put a little bit more epoxy putty and then sand the whole tender down. So I used some wire for the lining on top of the tender, and then I used a capsule Play-Rail wheel to make the little circle thing at the back of the tender. And now let's move on to the main engine itself. So the first thing I did was I used epoxy putty for the lining and the dome. If you've seen my Henry video, you'll know how I did it. So I painted the running board black, switched the oval buffers for the circle buffers, and created like this little circle dips on the running board using my circle file. And I also added the red lining on the running board. After that, I primered the whole body and the tender, and then painted it a nice green. Then I painted the lining on the engine and the tender. The eyebrows were a bit hard to do, so yeah. But there was still one last problem I had with this model, the battery compartment. So the battery compartment was put inside the tender, but since I don't have a Dremel, I can't fit the battery compartment inside the tender. I was originally going to use the Spencer motor for Scotsman, but I soon gave up because it was too complicated. And so I put the custom aside. Until one day, I bought myself a 9-volt battery and some wires for the 9-volt battery. And I was curious, I was like, what if I used the 9-volt battery inside of Scotsman? And it actually worked. And so the surprising thing, I didn't have to solder anything because I'm not good at soldering. I just stick the wires in the motor and then it works like magic. But then I need to figure out how to put the 9-volt battery inside of the tender. I have a spare Spencer tender that I can use, so I remove everything inside using my pliers and then just stick it in, and it works. And then I painted it green and added the black on the top, and then boom. And then I also added the letterings at the end. I still have the other tender, and I'm still planning to use the battery compartment inside of the tender, but first I need to have a Dremel first. So in the meantime, we'll use the 9-volt battery Scotsman. Alright, after all that's done, let's give him a test run. Thank you so much to HarshDanish22 for the inspiration. Go and subscribe to his channel. Links would be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you guys next time.
Arrangements took time, but one evening Gordon's driver ran back excited. "Wake up, Gordon! The Fat Controller's given you a surprise! Look!" Gordon could hardly believe it. Backing towards him were two massive green tenders, and their engine shape was very like his own. "It's Flying Scotsman," he gasped. "The Fat Controller's brought him to see me. Oh, thank you, sir." Gordon's toot of joy was drowned by Flying Scotsman as he drew happily alongside.